Legend of 14 Snakes, Part 2, a card playing special. Presented exclusively by Tea Room Online on YouTube. A. Into the snakes more closely. For the viewers of the Part 1 of this program, the 14 snakes should become kind of familiar. But we still need to take a more close look to them in order not to be bitten by them. The very first one we need to handle is a Africa Cobra. It can make an extreme drawdown for the players and it will fail all the winning system available considering the bankroll size of 400 units. That's why it was kept at the front door. Toxicity Index, 4.5 stars. These two are the common garden non-venomous snakes. In some part of the world, it can be cooked and served with beer. Toxicity Index, 0.5 star. This is an Indian mountain snake with unstable temper. Toxicity Index, 1.5 stars. These four are not so venomous, but they do scare people. If you hunt in a mountain and meet these snakes, you probably will back home with an empty hand. Toxicity Index, 2 stars. These three called Black Widows, very aggressive. Be very careful. Toxicity Index, 3 stars. These two are among the very venomous snakes. Once bitten, none can take 7 steps without falling down. With these two here to guard the headquarter, nobody can get in the castle. Toxicity Index, these two share the same 4.5 stars as the Africa Cobra in the front door. The last one is a Mexican Black Viper, none can survive after attacking. Toxicity Index, 5 stars.
B. Evaluation the toughness of the 14 win/loss roads. It can be seen that the 14 win/loss roads include all typical patterns that often appear in the random games. The following are some of them. 1. Type 1-1. 2. Type 1-2. 3. Type 1-3. 4. Type 2-2. 5. Type 3-3. 6. Type 4-4. 7. Deep Valley. 8. Valley after valley. It's obvious that among the 14 roads, about 10 are not so difficult to handle with current known money management strategies. But a few of them, at least for me, all the known methods will fail, no matter using flat bet, negative progression, positive progression or any combinations of them, considering the strict requirements, less than 400 units of bankroll, no less than 3 units have to be yielded from each road. To make a breakthrough, we need to broaden our mind, to find the similarities between a game and a war.
See, the progress of a game is just like the progress of a war, it can be divided into different situations or status. 1. In the progressing of a battle, we are in the favorable side or with small casualty. In this case, it's not necessary to increase troops of change strategy. The money management system, MMS, applied in this situation is called probing system, PS. 2. The enemy is in the absolute favorable side. In this case, we have to increase our troops and modify our strategy. An MMS is called fighting back system, FBS, will be used in this situation. 3. The two sides are in a stalemated situation, no side has obvious advantage over the other for a long time. In this case, we have to modify our strategy for breaking the balance. In this situation, an MMS is called balance breaking system, BBS, will be used.
D. Quantitative indicators of these three status and the introduction of MMS, PS, FBS and BBS. 1. Enemy advantage indicator. We use the accumulated loss, AL, from the game start or restart, to indicate the extent of enemy advantage. When AL greater than -12, the game is in its probing status. PS is used as the MMS for this status. When AL equals -12, the game enters into its fighting back status. FBS is used as the MMS for this status. 2. The stalemated status of the two sides is indicated by the indicator of balance value, VV. VV starts to be evaluated from the 15th hand of the game. It equals the ratio of win numbers to loss numbers for the last 15 hands played. For example, in the lasted 15 hands, we win 6 times and lose 9 times, then BV equals 6 to 9. It is set that, when BV equals 7 to 8 or BV equals 8 to 7, the game enters into the stalemated status. BBS is used for the stage. 3. Introduction of PS, FBS and BBS. 1. PS, AL greater than -12. Always start a new game with the minimum wager it's assumed as 1. If the previous hand loss, keep the wager unchanged for this hand. For example, win/loss road, dash, 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 dash. Wager, -1 -1 -1 -1 -1 -1 -1 -1 -1 -1 -1. If the last hand wins, then increase 1 unit for this hand wager. If wins again, keep increasing the wager and make change as the following sequence and recycle. For example, win/loss road : plus 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 wager 1 2 3 1 2 3 5 8 13 5 8 13 1 2 3 1 2 when L equals -12 FBS is activated. This is a 4-step martingale system starting with 25, 50, 100, 200. For the 4 steps, any step hits, the progression will end. Al will be restored to 0. The wager will start with 1. If all the 4 steps fails, the progression bursts. All the chips prepared for this progression will lose. When this happens, Al will also be restored to 0 and the wager will restart from 1. It should be noted that whether the FBS succeeds or not, the counting of BV is still continuing. 3. When BV equals 7 to 8 or BV equals 8 to 7, BBS is activated. BBS is a 3-step martingale starting with 50, 100, 200. For the 3 steps, any step hits, the progression will end. BV will be restored to 0:0. The wager will restore to 1. If all the 3 steps fails, the progression bursts. All the chips prepared for this progression will lose. When this happens, BV will also be restored to 0:0 and the wager will start from 1 again. It should be noted that whether the BBS succeeds or not, the counting of AL is still continuing. All the discussion above can be summarized in the following table.
This is a complex money management system integrating flat bet, negative martingale progression, and ladder positive progression all together. Some remarks. 1. Flat bet reduce the risk to fall into a grand valley, protecting our bankroll. 2. Increasing wager after a win. This is a demonstration of a gaming philosophy of be cautious to loss but not to win. Once you have a winning streak, you will be able to recover your previous loss quickly. 3. Fight back at a right time. It's a natural law that when everything goes extreme, it must reverse. Like the weather, after the severe cold, comes the spring. Likewise, after we are hit 9, 10, 11, 12 times in a run, it should be the right time for fighting back. Even theoretically, whenever we fight, we still have a 50% chance to win. 4. Dare to break the balance. A stalemated status of the 2 sides is a kinetically power balanced status. Once it is established, it usually lasts. So we must learn how to identify and take advantage of it. 5. In all MMS, every wager, its size is determined by status indicators. And the indicators themselves are determined by the numbers that represent the characters of the game progress. Prevent the affect of personal emotion and experiences. 6. For the sake of simplicity, we give a nickname to this complex system. Just call it Big Head System, BHS.
Figures demonstrating how to beat the 14 snakes. The following are some examples demonstrating how to beat the 14 snakes. It includes indicator calculation, wager size, accumulated loss. The complete set of the 14 figures can be downloaded from the link posted in the comments area. By now, for the viewers with some game playing of studying experiences should be able to go through the 14 snakes with the money management method discussed above. After beating the 14 snakes, you should test more real game records such as the records of Baccarat scorecard to verify the effectiveness of the method. And try to increase your ability to be profitable when play a 1-to-1 game. To those still not so familiar to the game systems, the 14 figure may look totally confusing. But don't worry. It will be demonstrated hand by hand in the next issue of Tea Room Online Card Playing Special, Legend of 14 Snakes, Part 3.
This is the end of today's program. If you like this program, please click the subscribe button. Thank you for your watching. See you next time.